what are we doing this morning? This morning we are snapping the ends off of green beans. Obviously we're putting the scrap in there, and then we're putting the good stuff in there until we can wash them off and turn them into a little bit something like this. So yeah, we're gonna keep at it and keep going and hopefully get 5 half bushels done by the end of the day, canned and ready to go in the cupboards. So we just got done cutting them and snapping them in half. By snapping them in half, I mean breaking them. So here, I'll show you a little bit there. So I broke it in half, just breaking them in half. So it's easy to put them in the jars. I have, I think, 14 quart jars here, and then 7 pints that I'm going to do. I have a lot more to do, so I'm sure I'm going to be pulling out some more quart jars from storage right on the front porch there. And then we're going to get to all these wonderful little things of sunshine in a second. So right here is my 7 jar water bath. So I use this for quarts right here. It can fit 7 at a time. I also have a pint one, and here's the one for pints. If you can't tell the difference, there's quite a drastic one. It's not as wide around, and it is not as tall either. So I'm gonna go ahead and move the pot that we used for the corn yesterday and put this in its place with water in it and get it ready. Put out there that I am not doing the recommended FDA, what they have for their videos, so that everybody knows, disclaimer right now, that this is not the way that the FDA would can. They would prefer that you would can using a pressure canner, but for generations and generations we have been using the water bath method. So if it was all right for them, then it's going to be all right for me. So yeah. So here we go. I had just filled this jar up, so I'm going to shake it, kind of pack it down, get it as packed down as I can. Of course, we don't want to add too much. We want to make sure that everything that we add is right there level or then by the neck, but you want to be careful if it's right up to the neck, just because of siphoning and problems that it can cause with jars exploding. I've had problems with that. So normally I add to right about here, but everybody is different. Every canner does things differently. Want to add that in because there are a lot more veteranized canners than me. But for me, so far, that's how I've done it, and it's worked. What we're going to go ahead and go through is shake them. Sometimes there's room for just a little bit more, and I will pack this one down. And there we go. That is the end of doing those for right now until we are able to go ahead and cut some more up and get these filled with water. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go ahead and fill these up to right there, like I said, with water, just about a half an inch below the neck of the jar, or fill it all the way up. But however you would like to do it, you can go all the way up to the neck of the jar or just a little bit below. Either way works great. And yeah, then we should be all set to put some salt and lemon juice in there and put them in the water bath canner and get them started. So sadly guys, we do not have good water. We have sulfur water where we live. So one of the things I had to have my husband do was take one of these jugs and pour it into this pot so that I could warm it up, put it into the jars. That way, once the water gets in there, see that it would work the same as if you turned your water on and you made it super, super warm. So then once you put it in the jars and you turn your heat on for your water bath canner, they're around an even temperature, or you could say a good temperature for the jars not to bust or break, as it can happen if you put completely cold water into your jars and then you put it in there. The temperature just does not match up. You can even put your jars in the oven before if you wanted to do it that way. But most of the time what I do is just make sure that the water is even temperature with the water that I'm putting it into for the water bath, and my jars normally don't go anywhere. So yeah. What we have to do is wait for this to start boiling, and then we can also wait for this to start boiling. Then I can add the water to my jars, put my rings and my lids on, and get that process going yet again. So what I am going to be doing now is taking the water from here, it's just about the temperature I want it, and putting it in the jars here so that we can start putting it into the water bath canner. And also, before we start pouring the water in, I also want to get that lemon juice and that teaspoon of salt in there so that we just have a little bit of salt before the cooking process. So now, before we put the water in there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the teaspoon of salt and the teaspoon of lemon juice in there, and we can get this party started. So let's go. done putting all of that in there. Now onto the water. So here we go on to filling up the water to the neck of the jar.
The baby's juice cup, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
The baby's juice cup.
Yeah, is that the baby's juice cup?
You really don't want it, Mom. Maybe you don't want it.
Okay. adding the lids. But always remember, before you add your lids, wipe the lid, 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 and wipe the lid. Right, Raylyn? Wipe the lid. Always have to make sure to do that. That way our jars and our lids get the maximum seal. The best seal we can hope for is all we can do. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to add the lid. Then we're going to go ahead and add the rings to the jars. And get it started. go ahead and put the rings on, I'm going to go ahead and separate the ones I will be using from the ones that I don't have to put in the water bath canner yet. Ja. Ja. So there we go with that. I'll actually keep on putting rings and lids onto the jars. I'm going to grab some more rings and we'll get started. So we are going to start with the first batch here in the water bath canner. Show you guys. So it is boiling, so we're going to go ahead and take our jars, swirl them in, and put them in there. Now this is the point where you will figure out if any of your jars will bust because of that hot water in there.
Hot water.
Yeah, hot water.
Look at it.
Do not do so.
Look at it. That's hot.
Yep, it's hot. And the last one, I will probably use my holder for. So you take this magnificent little thing that you get in a kit. Go ahead and put them in there. Take your lid, you put it right on top, and you set the timer for 3 hours. And once it's set for 3 hours, you check it every once in a while here and there so that you can make sure it does not need any water. That way the jars won't crack. So here we go on this. I just put another batch in, so there's less to do, yay! As I am filling up these last ones, oop, that's a little too high, so we're gonna have to go and dump some of that out because you don't want to fill them up too high. What I wanted to say is that, you know, canning is not a perfect thing. It is not an easy thing. So if you are a first timer and you are just starting and you're watching my videos, just understand that, you know, it's not easy. But, you know, everything is accomplishable as long as we take our time, we do what we need to go through the motions and finish up what we started, y'all. So yeah, I hope that helps, but that's something that helped me. Boiling up the second batch, only an hour and 31 minutes left, and then on to another batch. One more batch of the pints, 2 more batches of the quarts, and over here I decided that I was going to do some batches of soup as well, so well, why not? Put some of those in there and then we'll blanch these as soon as everything else is done. I think I know why they call it canning. Because you can do it, but you also can't wait until it's finished. I am on my last batch almost. I've got another hour and 30 minutes for this, and then I have another batch to put into the large water bath. And then, guys, I will be finished. I literally cannot wait. I still have to blanch these green beans, and then I will be finished, y'all. So, keep me in your thoughts. But, guys, that is the roundabout of how to do it. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask me them in the comments. I am more than happy to. This for me, if you guys want to do step-by-step canning, I was thinking about doing some of those during the winter time. That way I have more time, I'm more relaxed, but with these large batches, if you can't tell, I am super exhausted. With these large batches, you start early in the morning and you do not finish until late at night. I think I probably won't be done until about midnight, but hey, good for the freezer, good for the canning shelves so that we have nice, delicious food to eat year-round. Anyways, I hope y'all have a wonderful one. If you guys could like, comment, subscribe, and share, that would make the world for me. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys have a great one.